Hello, everyone. Good
Good
afternoon,
morning.
good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. I hope everybody is okay. Hi, Dave. Thank you for being
Hi.
here. Let's see who we got here. First of all, thank you to all my moderators, Catherine, Sleepless, Erica, Chick 56, Matt, of course, Aussie Girl, Jen, Ellie B, hi, Christy R. Whose membership badge fell off? I read that. Hi, Joke Girl, Blue Skies, Love and Peace. Christy, I love MJ. I love MJ too. Michael Jackson, is that what you mean? The Tame Tiger, thank you for becoming a member, by the way. Aussie Girl Chen, I already said. Giselle, I love that name, Giselle. I love it. Mischievous IMP, hi, Sugar Beat. Ellie, I already mentioned. And everybody else who is Chris, SCH. Everybody who is joining in now. Blue Skies. Kiwi. Hi, Kiwi. Miss J Mac, your membership badge fell off. Did I hear that right? Hi, Ellie. Lisa. Hi, Dave G. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Alison, Dawn, of course. Don Joe, Tanya Gonzalez, Frog Nado. Hi, Elizabeth, Ellie, and everybody, Stephanie, and everybody else who just joined. And I forgot to mention. Well, on that day, nice Sunday afternoon or night for me. Hi, April.
Monday morning.
Monday morning for you. I gotta tell you guys, I did not make a presentation today, so I'll be showing you guys some stuff anyway. But I don't feel very well today. I woke up with a headache. I slept 3 times, took an old lady nap or 3 old lady naps during the day. So, but I think this is still going to be interesting for you guys. We're going to talk a little bit about the psychology side of things, especially, the tame tiger. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. October is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So just so you guys know. Hi, Bake Me a Wish. Cat, of course, hi. Caterpillar, hi. Yeah, I feel a little bit better after taking 3 painkillers. Doesn't really help, but feels a little bit better. However, like I said, we're going to go into the psychological side of things a little bit. I'm not going to go through with you guys on why killers kill why serial killers kill, why mothers kill their children, why fathers kill their families, stuff like that. You know, there are so many documentaries, very good documentaries from actual doctors on YouTube you can watch. What I wanted to do is just talk to you about Chris specifically and about what could have caused him to do all this. I mean, many of us have different opinions. Some do believe he did not kill anyone. Some do believe he killed them all. Some do believe he had help. But we gotta keep this like in the background today, right? And just concentrate on that person. I gotta tell you also, I have been in contact with a person who actually knows Chris Watts. This is something new to Dave too, because I have not told him.
What?
Don't stop concentrating on your phone and listen to me.
Thought we were friends.
Well, this person is not in the inner circle, I would say, but this person was there when it all went down. And this person reached out to me. And this person told me a load of good things about Chris Watts. I have permission to tell you guys about 2 encounters this person had with Chris Watts before the murders and also after the murders, when he was not yet caught or interrogated that much or arrested. I promised I won't be sharing this person's identity at all. That's why I'm not telling you guys if it's a male or a female.
Nice,
And
mate.
as you guys know, I keep my promises always. So I'm not going to share that person's identity. So I ask for permission to share 2 encounters, like I said, because it fits with the topic we have tonight, right? So I wasn't sure if I can share some information with you, but I can, and I'm very happy because this will show us that it all ties in together on what my psychiatrist actually explained to us. So, Dave's face, ha ha ha. Yeah, there are some things, I keep my promises. And if this person says no, don't tell anyone that I contacted you and don't tell anyone who I am, I won't, no matter who it is. Okay, so identity stays safe with me. All right, so I'm going to share this first, what this person said to me. And then it got me thinking. This person said he or she saw Chris Watts loads of times in the neighborhood, right? And they were all friendly with each other, did not have much to do with each other. And this person also told me that in the neighborhood, there are not so many young people, right? Mostly pensioners. And, they're all friendly with each other. And this person told me that he or she met Chris Watts on Halloween. And he or she also met Chris Watts when he was out and about with his children, right? And I still think NK is a psycho. We're getting to this, what a psychopath actually is. However, he or she, I'm not telling who it is, said to me that he was walking down the pathway one day. And with that little, what is it called? This thingy you pull. And he had Bella and Cece in that little vehicle. And Dieter, he or she said to me, was also present. So Chris Watts was pulling that, what is it called, Dave? Help me. This thingy you can put your children in and pull it. It's not like a
Pram.
No, it's not a pram.
I like it.
But it has a
trailer
special
for a car.
What?
It's like a trailer, and you just put your kids in it and you pull them down the street.
Yeah, let's just say wagon.
Yeah,
that's good. Wagon. Okay, thank you guys.
Wagon.
So, wagon. He pulled his kids, and this person walked by. So what he or she said to me, like they were all friendly with each other, saying hi and goodbye, and not very, no, it's not Betty. It's definitely not Betty. That person was walking past, and he did not move out of the way. He did not move. So he was standing like this, looking on the floor. And when this person passed, that person said, "Hi, Chris." And he looked up, looked straight in the eyes of that person, and went like, did not move an inch, looked back down on the floor. That person told me this was the first time that this person was kind of got a weird vibe of him. And I'm kind of like, getting goosebumps when I say that. A weird, really weird vibe. So, and that was weeks or months or even a year before all this happened, right? However, on that Tuesday, when the dogs searched the house, down on the floor, on the ground, he looked. Yes. Yeah, that's a bit strange. That was really, and that person described it to me as he wasn't really there, right? With his head, he wasn't really there. It wasn't his usual behavior, because normally he's friendly. But on this day, he was absolutely not friendly. He just went, like in an angry kind of mood. And he did not move an inch to let this person walk past. He was just standing there. And that person told me, you know what? I walked past him, always in fear that he's going to attack me for some reason, right? It's that vibe he gave off. So that was really weird. However, on a Tuesday, disassociated, yeah? On that Tuesday, when the dogs were there, this person is also involved with media, I can tell you this much. And everybody was gone, like not many people were left on the Tuesday evening. That person went past the house again. No, it's not Nate's mom either. So this person walked past the house to just check who is there, who to talk to, stuff like that. And that person said she walked past his truck. And while he or she walking past the truck, he or she did not see that Chris Watts was actually sitting in the truck, right? So as the person walks past the truck on the driver's side, he went around, looked straight in that person's eyes again, and his eyes, he did not say a word, and his eyes followed that person as she or he walked backwards, turned around, and ran down the road. This is the vibe he gave off to his surroundings. Totally out of nowhere. That person told me he was, he or she was scared. That made her basically run backwards, turn around, and he ran down the road. I switch up with he and she, so you don't get the identity of that person, okay? So, however, I was thinking, oh my God, this is something that matches what my psychiatrist says, right? He decided to show himself to this person for some reason. Yeah. And what was scary was that he did not move in his truck, right? But his eyes went with that person. Like his eyes went with her, like following up on her or him, right? So that was the first part. Then second, my psychiatrist is a lady, an older lady, and she's been working in the prison system She's been working with inmates. She's been working with cheeky. Am I cheeky? Yeah. Sometimes I am, Kat. She's been working in the prison system in her younger years.
Which you didn't realize until not long ago, which is what you said yesterday.
I did not realize. No, I did not realize it, because by the time I went into therapy, because of what happened to my family, to two of my family members, I did not check backgrounds or anything like this, So I just went to her, got an appointment, more than one appointment. Obviously, I was in therapy for over 2 years with her, and I still am, like, from time to time. We have a monthly call. This is something I can tell people. That's no secret. And in that monthly call, I was telling her a little bit of what I do. And did this person mention this to law enforcement at the time? No. I lost it.
Oh, sorry, just one moment. Jen, I just want to quickly mention Jen Madison. One of my moderators fell asleep last night, and her thumb was actually sitting on the screen of her phone, and it was not done on purpose, Jen. We know you're a wonderfully kind person, and you were timed out you were blocked 3 times. Okay.
Oh.
So that was not done on purpose, Jen. So on behalf of my channel, I do sincerely apologize for that, Jen.
Okay, so got this sorted. However, we have monthly calls, and we just, even though I don't need therapy anymore, we still kept in contact, and she's asking how I am and what's going on in my life, what I'm up to, stuff like that. And we've been talking on the phone, and she was asking her regular questions, and I said, well, I'm doing YouTube now. And she's like, oh, that's nice. What are you doing on YouTube? And I'm like, I'm doing crime. And she's like, what? It took me 2 years to get you up and running again with your mental state, and now you're doing crime. And I said to her, yeah, well, yes, because I think something good will come out of this, right? I have the feeling she knew that I did crime groups and stuff like that before on Facebook, but never on YouTube. So what she found good is that I saw it done. What she found good is that I can talk about things that actually hurt me, if that makes sense. Like, when I talk about crime, I'm not thinking so much anymore about what happened to me, right? And I'm trying to help people, and I'm trying to get stuff solved and sorted, with talking. However, she said it's good that you are in public now, speaking in public on your YouTube channel. That's a good thing, because back in my life, I had trouble with trusting people, or I still have sometimes trouble with trusting people. And I was basically at home and not so much in the public eye, right? So I'm rather not in the middle of something, okay? I still don't want to be in the middle of something, but you know what I mean. However, she said, do you think that's a good idea if you talk about that person or that crime? And I said, yeah, because I think something good will come out of this, right? And like we saw in the past 2 weeks, something good came out of this, right? Of course, I trust you guys. So, she wanted to know. And then that's when she told me, you know what, I worked with prisoners back then, and people of war zones who came here for refuge and stuff like that. And I saw a lot in my life. And I'm very interested in what actual case you are looking into. Well, and I told her, well, I'm looking into the Chris Watts case. And she heard of it, of course, because it was all over the news here as well. And she said, oh, is that guy that killed his family? And I'm like, yeah, more or less. I mean, opinions go apart. Some think he did it. Some people think he didn't. And she does not speak English, like fluent English, but she does understand. When I show her something or show her videos, she does understand what people are talking about, right? But she wouldn't, she can communicate in English, but English is just not her native language. So, however, she said, oh, I'm interested in this. Can you send me some stuff? And I said, yeah, okay, I can send you some stuff. And I said to her, quid pro quo. I'm going to send you some stuff and you tell me your opinion as a psychiatrist. And she's over 60 years old, so she has experience. And you tell me your opinion on what you see. And she said, well, I'm going to try, because normally I'm not diagnosing anyone I have not spoken to, but I can try to tell you on why he might have done this or what might have caused this, right? Okay. Then I think 8 weeks went past, and last week she called me and she said, this case is really, really weird. And I said, well, yeah, welcome to the club. We all think it's really, really weird. Thank you so much, Giselle. I'm glad you found my channel too. Welcome. Get this. Oops, sorry. And she said, well, according to what you have sent to me, and I sent her the porch interview. I sent her everything about Nutgate. I sent her snippets of my documentary. I sent her snippets of his interview. I sent her pictures, basically before, after pictures. And I just sent her some stuff, what's out there. And she said to me, has he ever been evaluated, like mentally evaluated? And I'm not talking about an evaluation where you go to prison, they evaluate you, but it's only for the purpose so they know where to put you, right? With whom to put you.
He wasn't declared a psychopath or a sociopath. No. They are the two things they test for in that evaluation, so they know where to actually place you.
Yeah. Hi, Melina. However, I also asked her, not in this conversation, but in previous conversations, I asked her, what is a psychopath? And she's like, you might be one. And I'm like, what do you mean I might be one? She said, well, you're a manager, right? And I said, yeah. You have people to lead, right? And I said, yeah. And she said, well, then you might be a psychopath. And I did not at all understand what she was talking about. And I'm like, no, I'm not going around killing people. I'm not a psychopath. And she said to me, psychopath is not necessarily a killer or a psycho. The world or the communities or the public sees a psychopath as a bad person, somebody who goes around killing people, somebody who might manipulate people in a certain way. But it's not what it is. A psychopath can be you, can be me, everybody in some sort of power, right? Psychopath can be normal, many living in this world. Exactly. So she actually explained to me, and you can Google it. And I did Google it. And she said, yeah, I thought, yeah, she is really right, So a psychopath, after she explained to me what it is, actually, is no longer a killer to me. It could be my mom, could be my dad. Everyone who is trying to push through with their plans could be a psychopath. Yeah. This goes for people, and she mentioned some saying. Have you ever heard when a person says, only over my dead body? You're not doing this. Only over my dead body. And this represents power in your mind, right? So you could very well be a psychopath. Okay? However, she said, well, this case is kind of weird, and she said, what's your opinion about this case? And I said, I don't know. He might be drugged. He might be, I don't know. It's just not, it doesn't fit. The whole thing doesn't fit. He was a good guy, no problems in his childhood, good guy, always with his children, always caring for other people at work, stuff like that. So what does make him snap? And I'm saying snapped because, not because of I think he killed anyone or, did this in a rage. I'm saying snapped because something in his head must have, clicked. So he did this. And she
Remember,
said,
we all are capable of killing. Each and
yes.
every one of us. We are all actually capable of it. We are, we're humans, and we're capable of doing it.
Yes. Yeah. And I wanted to present you guys with some little presentation, though, about the different types of killers. There are people, they're killing for money. People, they're killing for being greedy. They kill for being jealous. Serial killers, 68% of serial killers, for example, they kill because they want to relive what they did, right? The spectrum of why people kill is so big. Like, we wouldn't get everything into one live stream. So what I'm going to do is just concentrate on what she said to me about Chris. It has nothing to do with him being narcissistic. That's also what I asked her. He has no traits of a narcissist. He has little traits of a covert narcissist, but this outweighs his behavior. So she wouldn't say that he's a covert or a narcissist. Sociopathic to an extent, yes, but not really, right? So he was basically just a shy guy. You cannot put him into any drawer of this. He has a little bit of everything, but we all do, right? It's in our nature. We all do. And during the path of our lives, we decide what route we're going, right? Do we choose the blue or the red pill, right? So what she said to me is antisocial also not, because an antisocial person would not care for anybody in his circle. Like he would not care for coworkers, for example, right? So we cannot put him into this either. So she said, did he go through any kind of trauma when he was a child? And I said, well, all I know is that he was not. I mean, there was some family stuff in back then. I don't want to go deeper into. Everybody knows. You can read up on this, but not that I know of. And I asked her, can you explain to me what trauma even means, right? And she said, well, trauma can be physical. It can also be mental, right? If you, for example, she said to me, you suffered trauma because you weren't there, but you went there because I went to Michigan to get my aunt's body, right, for a funeral. So I went there and I went through all that stuff. And it kicked in like a year later, right? My son was a baby and I had to be there for my family, so I did not have so much time to think about it. What happened to me was over the time, I got more and more angry, more and more aggressive, more and more control. I wanted to have control over everything, right? Even stuff I could not control. And that's a sign of trauma. So anything you went through in your life can cause trauma. Negative influences can cause trauma. Negative people you surround yourself with who are negative. They, tell you all day about disasters. And if you watch the news, to some people, that can cause trauma. Not consciously, but in your unconscious, your head is
in your subconscious.
Subconscious, sorry. Your head is thinking, that's why people tend to, when they go to psychiatrists, a psychiatrist normally does not treat only that. He or she, depending on who you go to, they pull everything out of your subconscious, right? And you start to think about things you already forgot. So that's trauma. And I said, she also said it could be physical trauma, a blow to the head, an accident, something you went through, something you've seen on TV, natural disasters, the pandemic could cause trauma later on in some people. Losing their jobs, stuff like that. This is all trauma. So what happens if you don't treat trauma? Because most people, and she was talking about over 50% of people, they don't usually seek help, right? It's like let's say an addict, a drug addict, or an alcoholic. They think, no, I'm okay. I don't need help. I can stop tomorrow, until it's too late. And if you realize that you need help, this is the way to go. And then if you get help, you can be treated. No problem. There is medication, there's therapy, and the methods of therapy these days is just unbelievable. So in my personal case, it was like I got aggressive, wouldn't want to talk to anybody, yelled at my children, was always angry, and I didn't even know why I'm angry. So I'm working with customers all day. And there was one customer, she came to me and she said she was looking for something. And I was very rude to her. And I was so rude that she looked me straight in the eyes and she said, "What happened to you? I can see it in your eyes. Something happened to you." And this was the point where I said, no, I need help. I cannot be like that to my customers. I can no longer be like that to my children. I cannot be that aggressive and in a bad mood all the time, because it's nobody's fault. Nobody's fault. Not my fault, not my customer's fault, not my children's fault. It's nobody's fault, right? So this is when I started therapy. And now I'm good. I can talk. I'm sometimes rude, but only if somebody's rude to me. So I said to her, what would have went on if I did not come to you? And she said, well, untreated trauma obviously goes into post-traumatic stress disorder. And the line is so thin from experiencing trauma to go into PTSD, right? So when I went to her, I already was at that stage of PTSD. And I said, well, what if somebody doesn't see I need help, And think about what Chris Watts said. I'm not going laying on somebody's damn couch, right? Keep that in mind. So she said, it goes into depression. You will go into a depression. And the sooner you seek help, the better are your chances of treatment, right? So you go into a depression. This can go long, go on for years and years and years and years, right? And you still feel like, I don't need help. It's a battle I have to fight with myself. I'm not gonna tell nobody. I just pretend to be happy. Laughing when somebody says to me, come on, laugh for that picture. Come on, go there, say cheese. Then you're all happy. And you close your door. And the same thing happens again. You battle with yourself. And this is what depression is. I call the head mansion. And it reminds me of a song by the artist Nate Feuerstein. And he also calls his head mansion. And he explains that every traumatic event he had in his life is one room. And he wants to burn this room. But if he doesn't get out of his mansion and he sets it on fire, he will burn with it. So what is he doing? He seeks help. Somebody who can pull him out there. And this is a psychiatrist. So if you go in a deep depression, it could mean that it goes further if you don't seek help. Some people stay in that depression mode, I call it, for years, others for weeks, others all their life, and nothing else happens. So she cannot put a timestamp on it when something is happening to that person, or, it makes click in their head or something, right? She said, from trauma into depression. Could be years, could be months, could be weeks, depending on the trauma you suffered. But in most cases, it develops over years. You're very welcome, Anne. If we pass that stage of being depressed and we don't seek help, sometimes self-therapy helps. Keep your mind off negative things. Surround yourself with nice things. Do what makes you feel good. But to realize that you need that is hard, right? So if you pass the stage of depression and you are a person who, let's say, like I said before, to some people, it might never really break out, but depending on the person you are. But to some, it breaks out and it goes bad. If you pass depression, you go into a stage of psychosis. And this is where it gets really dangerous. Once you enter the stage of having a psychosis, that means you don't remember certain things, right? And if we remember, Chris Watts is saying, I don't know what's real or what's hallucination anymore. Like I said, you guys, please keep your emotions out of this and just let's talk about what she told me and compare it with what Chris actually said. I think we can make a little bit of a connection here. It's hard to forget about what he did or didn't do, okay? Just the mental side of things we're talking about today. This was one thing where I said, oh my God, you could be right, And she said, yeah, the mind is a powerful place, right? And what you feed your mind affects you. So if you are surrounded by negative people all the time, being under immense stress all the time, which he was, right? He didn't know what's going on. How do I explain to Shanann that I want a divorce? I have a mistress. I cheated on her. This is immense stress on a person, right? So when I told her that he said he doesn't know what's real or what's hallucination anymore, she said, well, yes, I believe, she said, and this only based on the information I gave her. She said, this could very well be a person who went into a psychosis, right? Being depressed. Being depressed means you cut off all social connections. You rather stay at home. You rather stay. She also told me some people, they get so depressed that they don't even take care of themselves anymore. Like the daily hygiene, brushing your teeth, washing your hair, or take a shower is hard for them to do if you fall into this black hole. So, however, that's what she said to me. And I said to her, well, we are thinking, this is just, a theory we have. We don't know for sure, but he tells his family, well, she gave me these green drinks all the time. And I, was weird. Didn't know really. I fell asleep in the middle of a conversation and I don't remember anything, right? And what I wanted to do is for everybody who did not see my documentary, the first part of the documentary, the second part will be coming out very soon, you guys. I wanted to show you what I put together about the drug or the crystal dioptase. Okay, so I'm gonna turn my camera off for a second, and we'll be watching this part of the documentary together, so everybody of us is on the same page. Okay. Dave, would you turn your camera off for a second?
I have to report in a couple of things quickly.
Yeah, quickly.
Before we actually go there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just need to report in that you've got a few members on here that have written a few things in chat where you on your StreamYard you don't actually get to see. So there are people that are actually
I
writing.
do see it, but I have like a 5-minute delay, so nothing goes.
That's okay. So we have, I just want to let you know, we have the Tame Tiger who joined.
Yeah, I already said thank you.
April Kisno, Tame Tiger, gave you a super chat. Maddie Willis is a member for 2 months.
Thank you so much, Maddie.
For 3 months.
Oh,
Myself
wow.
for 4 months. Pride or Honesty, a member for 4 months. Sugar Beat is a member for 3 months. And Pauline,
Sugar Beat, she is there with me from the start.
And I just gave you a super chat.
Ah, thank you so much. Don't waste your money.
So I'm so proud of my friend TJ.
Thank you, guys, and I really hope I don't bore you to death. But
no,
yeah,
people are they're very much in tune. I'm looking at the chat as you speak, and people are very, very much focused on what you're saying, and it's relating so much to their own personal lives. And it's very interesting to listen to. That's why I said to you before the live stream, I was going to sit here and listen, because this is an amazing story that you're telling. So I'll turn off my camera and away we go.
Yes, me too. Okay. Yeah, I turn off my camera just because we always have trouble when I share my screen and I'm on camera. It like goes all weird. So, and I have the experience when I turn off camera and my guest also turns off his camera or her camera, we're good to go. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen with you. And this is my own video, so I won't be having any friggin' copyright claims. Yeah. Share my screen. This is just for the people who did not get the chance to see my documentary part 1 yet. Oh, where is it? Chrome tab. Here. Okay. I'm just make this bigger for you guys. Yes, I did watch some Lady Diana stuff earlier. Okay, so enjoy.
Kessinger was knowledgeable about minerals and crystals, having had set up her own business called Sadia Consulting. That was all about the power of crystals and stones, and how such can help you living a better life. Let's take a closer look at the dioptase mineral. Dioptase was first documented and named by René Just Houy, 1743 to 1822, a French mineralogist and founding father of crystallography. His law of rational proportions for crystal angles and his classification of crystals into 6 systems in his treatise on crystallography, 1822, were the launchpad for many further discoveries in crystallography. He is also responsible for the names of many minerals, including actinite, amphibole, axonite, sphene, dysthene, kyanite, amongst many others. In 1797, he chose dioptase from the ancient Greek dia, through, and optasia, vision, in reference to the fact that he could see secondary facets through the crystals he studied when tilting them in the light. The formation of dioptase requires warm and dry conditions, hence it is mined in arid places. It is found in good quality crystals in few localities, most notably Kazakhstan, Altan Tube Deposit, in the Central Asian steppes. It is also found in Africa, Republic of Congo, South Africa and Namibia, in the USA, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Chile and Peru. Due to the intensity of its color, dioptase is also used as a pigment in painting. The use of dioptase as a green pigment can be traced back to Neolithic times, including the famous group of ceramic figures of Ain Ghazal dating from the 9th century BC in today's Jordan. Dioptase is a stone of forgiveness and letting go of past wrongs. In essence, it is the physical embodiment of the old adage that being angry is like poisoning yourself and hoping the other person dies. Dioptase will help you come to terms with the fact that whatever anger you are carrying around with you because of past wrongs will only end up injuring you, rather than the people that you were angry at. Similarly, often we can feel as though life itself is out to get us in some way, or that we have been cheated out of those things that we really worked hard for. We might look around us and see that others have the life we dreamed of, or have to sacrifice our needs and wants for some greater good. Dioptase can help to soothe the anger and resentment created by those moments just as readily as it does being upset with other people. It can also shine a light on higher perceptions of certain events that may have led to these feelings, and help you to avoid unnecessarily ruminating on circumstances beyond your control. If you've become a touch cynical, this crystal can help you to see the joy in things once again. In other words, dioptase is a stone that can help you connect with your true self and soul. It will help you let go of the self-imposed bonds that so many of us carry around with us, usually because of fear or anger about things that happened in the past. These bonds and weights are highly subconscious, and you will probably not be aware that you are carrying them with you until after they are gone, and you can experience life without them for the first time. Because of these powers, it is fair to describe dioptase as a stone of forgiveness. It will help you become unstuck from the people and situations that you have been having difficulty forgiving, and move on with your life to achieve higher spiritual calm, and a sense of serenity that will help you improve your life. Over the course of the days, weeks, or years that we dedicate to quietly resenting or being annoyed at others, that part of your mind could have been put to so many other uses. It could have held onto a different, more useful piece of information. To make things even worse, most of us aren't just angry or resentful towards one person. We might have dozens, or even hundreds of people who we feel have wronged us at various times, and we are dedicating precious brainpower to lugging that anger and resentment around with us everywhere we go. So you see, dioptase is safe for you to carry around, but because it's high percentage of copper, it would be toxic if you drink, eat or inhale portions of the gemstone. Ingesting dioptase can cause serious health problems and will reverse its original effect into something quite the opposite. Don't we remember Chris telling his family that the drinks Kessinger gave him were green in color? The search for minerals, and specifically the search for dioptase, makes it clear to us that Watts and Kessinger were talking about the incident and that Chris was very angry at Shanann. It further tells us that Watts was struggling to let go of Shanann. Not having much confidence in himself, he constantly was asking Kessinger for advice. Chris obviously had trouble to get unstuck to Shanann. His searches tells us a lot about the conversations he must have had with his mistress Kessinger. The power of dioptase makes it easier for you to let go of people and anger you are holding towards them. It is an indicator that Kessinger very well knew that Chris was still married and not so much in final divorce proceedings as she had let on. Why would you advise somebody on a mineral that has the power to let go if you were already separated from this person? Being understandably angry about the lack of conversation and not taking her calls, Shanann wrote. You would think you missed us. Guess.
Yeah, so that much about dioptase. Can turn my camera back on. And this made me think.
I'll be right back. Just
yes,
one
sure,
moment.
sure. Go smoke it away. This made me think again. We all think, that dioptase, if it was dioptase, but he searched for it. He specifically searched for dioptase, right? We all think that she might have drugged him or gave this drink green in color, as he stated to his family, to, manipulate him somehow. But what I was thinking was a different thing. What if Chris Watts already knew something's wrong with him, you know? This indicates to me that he would have thought about what's going on with me. Why am I so angry? Why do I have, hate towards Shanann, right? Or to any other person. We don't know who else he hated, right? So this made me think, what if he knew before she gave him that tea or drink or cocktail or whatever you want to call it? And he opened up to her and he said, you know what? I'm feeling weird, I'm kind of angry and I don't really know why. Because dioptase is a crystal of forgiveness. And she might have said, I have something for you. You can try it out. So you might be not that angry anymore. So this indicates to me that he had these problems of being angry inside of him way before she gave him those drinks, which takes us back to being depressed for some reason. Okay. Whether or not he was depressed for, during the time of his marriage to Shanann, or if it was something happening in his childhood with his dad, we don't know what traumatized him. But we can certainly say for sure that something traumatized him. Yeah, because he wasn't really thinking like us, or I would say like a normal person. So, however, this indicates to me, searching for dioptase, that he opened up to his mistress. And she said, oh, maybe I can help you with that. Not knowing that he actually had a deep depression that needed treatment. So I said this to the psychiatrist as well. And she said, yeah, this could very well be because dioptase reverses its function when you drink or stuff like that, so that's true. And if you give a already depressed person something that makes the situation even worse, disaster strikes, right? So we don't know what part she played. We know she played some kind of part in this. I'm talking about the mistress. We do have proof that a female was there that day, that morning. But we cannot prove what was her role in this. So, and my psychiatrist said she's not diagnosing anyone, but she sees traits of this. And when that person came to me and contacted me about his encounters, and I just got a message saying it was his eyes. His eyes made me being scared. Then we got to think, does this have something to do? The encounter a year before or months before? Was he already in a stage of going into a psychosis? We don't know. Dave, mute yourself, please. I hear you breathing and commotion in your background. Thank you. Sorry. So, what happens when you go into a depression? End stages of a depression. For him, it occurred earlier. For other people, it doesn't. Other people live with depression all their life. Some people commit suicide. Some people just go socially totally awkward. And what she said, she sees the beginning stages of a psychosis. Hence, I don't know what's real and what's hallucination anymore. So if a person is in a stage of a psychosis And I'm no expert. I'm no medical person, nothing. I'm just telling you what she said. It's hard. They suffer memory loss. And there are certain triggers. Triggers what brings back your memory. And also that can be treated, right? So when we learned that Chris Watts, like Dave mentioned previously on his channel, when he was asked, somebody was walking out of their garage, and he said, I was alone. There must be something that triggered his memory. So I wouldn't say he's lying when he says, I thought he's lying. I gotta be honest. I thought this is BS what he's saying. He just doesn't want to say something, right? He just doesn't want to let the public know, oh my God. Oh my God.
Holy.
Hey, no swearing on my channel. Or I mute you. Dearest Tanya and Dave, the two of you are my touchstones. Thank you for everything. Much love and Godspeed. Oh my God. I don't even know. You guys, I'm so happy that you do this, and I really do appreciate it. I really, truly do. All the money goes this month, all the super chats and all the memberships. This month will go to Adventures with Purpose. And they are gonna be made up when I write down that check. So, Chemist in the Kitchen, thank you so much. You really, they are gonna be able to get new equipment and stuff like that. So, and I also wanna name you guys who participated in that donation. Thank you so much. I don't even know what to say. Thank you so much. And to me, I want to give back, and I wouldn't be able to give back to the community or to people who really need that money to do good if I wouldn't have you guys. So thank you so much, Chemist in the Kitchen. Thank you
I'm
so
in a
much.
state of disbelief. That's an extraordinary donation. Thank you so much for supporting Tanya.
Thank you.
Tanya,
From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much.
Tanya is an incredible person, and I have obviously learned a lot by being associated with her. And she's, she deserves absolutely all the credit she can get.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Truly, thank you. Also, thank you so much, Honeybee. You guys are my therapy. You guys are my therapy too. And I'm sorry when sometimes, stuff doesn't go as planned. That's life. I'm only human, but I think I make it up to you every time. So thank you guys so much for supporting me and supporting a good cause, because all the money will go back to a good cause.
She said, can you please share with Dave? She just wrote it. Can you please share with Dave?
Yeah, if Dave is willing to put it
as well.
Of course. No problem. No problem. Absolutely. Yeah, where were we? Where were I? Where was I with talking? I'm talking too much. No, I'm not talking too much.
You have just.
I thought, he was honestly lying. It was my opinion, because I thought, some stuff he does remember all of a sudden. And the rest of the time he says, I have no memory. I don't know. Was I? Am I? I can't remember. I might have been. I can't remember. I don't know. Or what does he always say, Dave?
He says, he actually says, I'm, I don't know what is real
And what is hallucination?
and what is an hallucination.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, and my psychiatrist said, actually, this is a sign of the beginning stages of a psychosis, right? If you don't remember certain things and you need trigger words to get that memory back into your conscious again. I also told her that he feels safe where he is. And she said, well, this is his environment. And if he would go back to Colorado, this would trigger stuff, memories, scenes in his head he has of Colorado. This is why he feels safe where he is. And she also, I also was talking about body language with her. And she said, I watched his porch interview. And I sent her that little video I did about him, having these evil, weird face expressions when he was in the kitchen with Detective Baumhofer and Nicole Atkinson. And some people say to me, oh, well, he was just under stress. And, I would be under stress and he's just relaxing his muscles and stuff like that. Other people, experts, I mean, I don't know if they're experts, but I'm also watching YouTube creators, obviously. And I watched a lot of these things. And they all say he's lying because he's flickering his eyes. He's doing this, biting his lips. And that's an indication of, I don't want to say no more. I don't want to do this and do that. So not that the truth comes out in the end, And she said to me, this could very well be that he is, trying not to say certain things. But she said something else, and this made me really think. She said, let's say he was in the beginning stages of a psychosis. We know that now. Or let's just say we don't diagnose anyone. We just assume that he was. His face expressions and his whole body language gives a totally different reason on why he's acting like he acts. A normal person or a murderer or a serial killer, they go, look at body language to think, they get something out of this person or try to see if they're lying or not. But with a mentally ill person, which a psychosis is the beginning stages of schizophrenia as well, right? So she said, we have to look at these things differently. The flickering in his eyes, the weird face expressions and biting lips, with patients she had in the past, is also an indicator that he has a battle inside. And he does not want, let's say, the second person he's battling with inside due to his depression, beginning stages of a psychosis, to come out at this very moment when he gets triggered with certain words, right? So this is a different explanation other than he's biting his lips because he's lying and he doesn't want to say something. Biting his lips, different face expressions. He knows I'm under immense stress and I have to stay calm. So this other person I'm battling with in my head does not come out and doesn't get triggered. And you see that pretty good in his porch interview. His eyes are, it's like thunder and lightning goes off behind his eyes or a little explosion. Then he bites his lips and then he goes like, you know, he hears certain words and in his head, he replays that. He replays or relives stuff he wants to forget. And talking to people like the media on his porch, he wouldn't want these people to see what he's thinking in his head, that he's battling. Let's call it, I'm not saying he had a second face or was two-faced, but let's just call it the second Chris to come out. And this is why it's so hard to understand and to make a difference between being normal, not having anything in my life, just snapped or acted in self-defense, or I'm a serial killer or something like that. You have to look at the bigger picture. Of course, we say, we go along his expressions and his body language. He's a liar. He's lying. He's not trying. He's trying to hide the truth. But if you analyze the bigger picture, it could very well be that he is trying for the real him or the second him not to come out at this point, because he gets triggered all the time. They ask him, what's with your kids? Where's Shanann? These words are all trigger words to him, and he's trying not to relive that. So that was the explanation on having a psychosis, a different view, I mean, take that information as you wish, but it really did make me think. It really did make me think and to see things with different eyes. And we know only a little portion of their lives. We know what we saw on Facebook or on YouTube or stuff like that. But if you have other people who have actually nothing to do with this case and they just look at it with new eyes, right? They can make you think twice about what you actually think, and they can change your mind, which she did, because I'm looking at this case with totally different eyes now. Then another thing she said, she does not see these traits, but it could go to that illness of being schizophrenic. If you don't treat a psychosis, these are people who, let's say, you have a murderer, and that murderer is schizophrenic. A schizophrenic person doesn't know what they did, right? So they killed someone, and then they try to undo or, cover up, because they know it's wrong what they did. But at this very moment, they couldn't help themselves other than to do this, right? So many schizophrenic murderers kill themselves, many, because it's a battle. I'm not saying, it's justified that people kill people. Don't get me wrong. It's never justified. But the law, I know the law in America has something where you can, plead guilty or not guilty because of insanity. And it's very, very, very hard in America to pass that test of being insane, right? But what they are testing is not actually, are you insane? Are you a psychopath? What they are testing is your mental health. And they look, if you, at this stage of your life, when you committed that crime, actually was being yourself, or if that has something to do with an ongoing psychosis or being schizophrenic, stuff like that, right? I don't know how it is in Australia, but here in Germany, it's also like this.
Yes,
Do
you
you
can make
wanna...
that plea. You can make that plea in Australia as well.
Yeah, they do?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But you also need to remember our life sentences here in Australia are only 25 years, and you
Yeah.
can be out in 2/3 of that time with good behaviour. Some are without the possibility ever of parole, where they're called a life term, and you actually will never be released. Well, some are never to be released,
Mhm.
and some are with no possibility of parole. So a life term is usually 25 years in Australia, not. And if you get 2 life sentences, it's still only 25 years. They go together as one. If you kill 2 people, you get 25 years, for each, but it's still only 25 years. It's not 50 years like in America where they add them together. So yes, in Australia, you can be you can have a plea of insanity.
Okay. In Germany, it's not quite like that. It's when they think you could be ill, they evaluate no matter what. So we don't actually have the plea of guilty by insanity or not guilty by insanity. So what happens here, I can tell you a real quick case we had here. There was a guy came from a war zone in, I can't remember where he came from. However, in his country, they had war. He came here and he worked. He led a normal life, had 2 children of his own, a wife, 2 small children of his own, a wife. They moved to Switzerland at some point, and this guy all of a sudden attacked his wife with a knife. And she called the police on him. The kids went to school here. His wife worked also. So they pretty much integrated into our culture, our country, no problem. All of a sudden, after I believe it was 10 or 8 years, he attacked his wife with a kitchen knife, totally out of the blue. He was a good worker. His co-workers always said, oh, he's nice, he's helpful, he's, no problem at all. He then went on a run, catch the train to Germany. I mean, we're neighbors with Switzerland, so no problem, train go every day. And he stopped here in Frankfurt. That's our main town for financial district, let's call it. And he was wandering around for a couple of days at the train station. And all of a sudden, this came out after the trial started. All of a sudden, he sees a young mother with her 8-year-old son. And the quick train just rolled in on the platform. And he pushed the mother and the young son in front of the train. The mother could roll over to the other side of the platform and rescue herself, but it was too late for her little son. And he died. After that, he started running. And people saw him running away. And they ran after him and they could catch him. Police was called. He was taken into custody and was presented to a judge who then said, yes, you're a threat to society. Up until the trial, we don't have bail or anything like that. If they think you're a threat, you go in the bunker, right? So we take you into custody. You don't have a chance to get out. And I was that was 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember. Tim was his name, that little boy's name. And people were so in shock and so in disbelief that somebody could do this, right? And we were all angry at those judges and at the DA's office because they said it's not his fault. It's not his fault. He's ill. So what happened was they interviewed him or during the trial, and I must say also trials of this stage in Germany are not public. You also don't get any information. This is what the German differs from the European, I would say, because it's similar in other European states. This is what differs law enforcement Germany or European law enforcement with compared to American law enforcement. They make everything public. In this case, or in cases like this in Europe or in Germany, you won't hear any names. You don't hear the name of the killer. You don't hear the name of the victim. Nothing. It's all sealed. Everything is sealed, right? The media is allowed to report on certain facts, but that's it. That's it. It's totally, their lips are sealed. Nothing comes out. Nothing.
Any offence in Australia committed against a child under the age of 16 cannot, the name of the child cannot be reported on, ever.
Mhm. Yeah,
You know?
here it's like the victim, if it doesn't, if it isn't made public by the prosecution or the police when they give their media statement, it will never come out. And you are also not able to get any police reports.
Yep.
Only if you are related or you have a special interest in getting this, like a court reporter or media, some sort of media, police reporters, stuff like that. Other than that, you can't. We also don't have a jury. However, it came to trial, and this guy was saying, well, I did not know what to do. I heard voices in my head, and they said to me, I got to do this. I have to do this. And they examined him, and he was being schizophrenic. And this is the reason why they locked him away for life, but not in the jail system. They locked him away and marked him, labeled him to not be unable to receive treatment. This person is ill, coming from untreated trauma of back then, right? So this is just on the side as how it works and how the justice system in Germany works or in Europe works. Life is 15 years in Germany. If you commit 2 murders, you only get 15 years. But a judge can decide if you are a threat to the public, if you are a treatable person, or if you are not a treatable person. No, we don't have juries, Jen. If the experts, psychiatrists, and they also do not only have 2 psychiatrists, you go through like 10 of them and they all put their opinions together and then a judge decides on what to do with you. However, he was labeled untreatable. Everything you do to him, he just stares at you. He doesn't even know what you're saying. He apologized to the family. Of course, this does not bring the little boy back. But this is just, to tell you that nothing is really what it seems, and we have to make differences. Of course, it does not justify murder, but there are people who kill because they're jealous. There are people who kill because they want money. There are people who kill because they want a better life. There are people who kill to be part of something. And I'm thinking of gang-related crimes, for example. And there are people who kill because they are ill. Of course, it's hard. And I said that many times, if that was my son who killed, he would not have came out of, I would have done anything for him to be released, because then I would have waited all my life. But after, doing that crime, and I see some stuff with different eyes. I truly do. And we cannot, open a drawer, put everybody inside the same drawer and say, oh, you're a psychopath, you're a sociopath, oh, you're this, you're that. You can't do this. You got to examine who this person really is and what did this person go through. That's why in American law system, they look for childhood stuff. It's called the mitigation phase, right? At a trial where you can say, oh, he did this as a child, he was abused, or he was raped, or, he suffered violence in his life. And if the mitigating factors outweigh the crime, he most likely, or she most likely, go to prison anyway. But if something happens in effect, like if you kill, for example, somebody because you saw that person killing your friend or your child, and you just get the gun and shoot him right there and then, you're most likely not getting charged. I mean, probably getting charged, but the sentence is way less than, if you commit murder just because you commit murder, because you're a bad person. This is what I was saying about this. However, this guy is locked up for life in a mental institution. He cannot get out ever. Most of the cases, if a judge rules a person not treatable, they will reevaluate after 15 years. But in this case, he said there is not going to be a reevaluation based on the experts or the psychiatrists' statements and reports. So he's not going to get out ever. So as you see, he, went through some sort of trauma, untreated, went into a depression, always was nice at work. Neighbors known him as a good father, really happy guy, actually, and socially a little bit awkward, but, always helpful to everybody. And all of a sudden it clicks. So what triggered him? We don't know. And we don't also know what triggered Chris Watts. We don't know. I don't think that the motive for Chris Watts was to be with his mistress. I honestly, truly don't think that. It could be that he was under immense stress. They had money problems. They were arguing all the time. Then, a people pleaser, exactly, sleepless in South Africa.
Don Joe's comment is quite important. This is where you're getting to.
Watts' parents should be very worried about his mental state. Untreated he will end staring at the walls 24/7. In the dark side will take over. He's finished. Yeah, but I think he knows, because he was searching for dioptase, right? He knew something in his head is not right. He knew something's wrong with me. I act a certain way, or I feel how I feel. What is wrong with me? I got to do something against this. Why am I angry? Because this drug is a drug for, or this crystal, you shouldn't eat it or inhale it or drink it, is a crystal for forgiveness. So he was looking for inner peace, having inner peace with the battle whatever he was battling with. And I think he does not, I think he knows that he might be ill. And I go a little bit further. This is just my personal opinion, but what I have heard and seen in the past month is some people also say, or some murderers say, if you let me out, I do this again. Right? So he might think, if I'm triggered outside, what if I'm triggered again and I do this again? That's why he feels safe where he is. But yes, I agree. I would consider treatment, because even if a killer kills somebody, this is also some sort of trauma, right? This can also be some sort of trauma. This does not take like as long as you would expect it to be taken when some trauma happens in your childhood, but it could very well be immense stress within 6 weeks, you know, adding up, adding up, adding up, adding up, adding up, adding up. Money problems, not knowing what to do, being shy, being, on the lookout all the time. I don't want my mistress to see messages. I gotta go outside to call. I gotta, pay with gift cards, because, he was always like under immense stress. And this could have caused him to do what he did. It's always a could have. It's not a fact, or I'm not saying we solved this case and this is what happened. It's always a could have, but I'm just giving you what the psychiatrist said and how she sees that with a set of fresh eyes and her expertise. That's why I'm also saying we don't know. We know that somebody else was there. He might have had help, but we don't know to what extent. Maybe she was there, or a female was there, or more people were there, because he called saying, oh my God, I really effed up. Help me. Then you remember, I don't know what's real, thinking about these schizophrenic people, or people who are going through a psychosis. They run, want to undo it, call for help. Help me. Oh my God, I did this. We don't know. So we don't know to what extent other people or a person is involved. And I'm so happy that this person reached out to me, because it did fit. It did fit. If I did not have this information, I would have probably said, I think he's lying, because I'm not an expert on, behavior. I'm not an expert on body language. I just give my 2 cents on how I see things, but that doesn't mean I'm an expert, right? So without that information, the psychiatrist and that person, I would say close to the investigation, told me, I would have thought totally different. Hi, KH, welcome. I would have thought.
Okay, hope you're well.
Yeah, so this is basically it in a nutshell. I hope I did not bore you guys too much. But yeah, all I'm asking is, I know it's hard, especially if children are involved. I know it's very, very hard. And I don't know if I wouldn't go totally psycho if something happens to my children. Nobody knows that. It's in our nature that we want to protect our loved ones, that we want to protect our family. Of course we do. We might snap, in a split second, because everybody makes mistakes. I'm not saying being a murderer is, oh, I made a mistake and it justifies that. No way. Yeah. But we all were before in situations where you had maybe done something or said something, and after 2 minutes you were like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. This is the difference of a normal thinking person and a person who is depressed, going through a psychosis, going through depression, or battling. They don't care at that very moment. Later on, when they committed already what they wanted to commit, it's a different story. But for that moment, a normal thinking person would say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I did say you look not good today, or your hair looks shit, or whatever, right? Or if you accidentally hurt somebody, and then there are some people, I always say people who are working with other people have more knowledge of human beings. It just is like that. You see through people. A person who works with children, for example, they know already in their, when they see the kid's eyes, what is this kid up to now in 2 minutes? They just know. And so is it with people who have stuff to do with other people. Like me, I'm working in retail as my main job, and I just know if a customer comes towards me, I know from their expression, oh, you gonna ask me, where can I find this and that? Right? You just know, you develop a feeling for
Yes.
people, right? But us normal thinking people, we cannot imagine and we cannot make differences, because if somebody gets murdered, especially if there are children involved, it always is emotional. And we don't think rationally enough in that situation. In that situation, everybody's just a murderer. But we don't question why, right? We don't. We just don't. And it's normal. That's natural, I wouldn't question why somebody killed my family. I would just say, bring it on. I'm fighting. My uncle was very, very ill. And even though I know there's something up and this case is not really solved, I know he was ill. And I'm always in between. He might have done this. He might have not. So many things speak for he didn't, but then other things speak for he might have, So we don't know. And if a murderer is in your family, you again think different. I still love my son if he did something. I would still love my family member, my mother, my father. I would still love them. And it's easy to say, if somebody in my family does something really bad, I would cut off everything, and I would not be, wouldn't want to be associated with that person. It's easy to say, but if you're in that situation, believe me, you're gonna think twice. You're gonna think twice.
I'll tell you now, if if people have seen what I'm like just from getting a video blocked that shouldn't have been blocked, imagine if you did something to my family. And I would go all the way. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
Right. I mean, there's a nice little story. If I don't bore you, I'm going to tell you real quick. There was a woman, I think that was in Denmark, I believe, somewhere in Europe. And her son was killed by a friend. And he went to prison for, I believe it was 20 years. And she said at the trial, Google it. I can't remember her name, but it's a pretty famous case in the 60s or 70s. Her son got killed by his school friend. And at the trial, she said, I'll be waiting for you when you come out. And I'm going to kill my son's killer. Right? So years went past. And the killer got released. He got his flat because somebody in Europe, when they get out of prison, they get a flat or a little apartment. They're looking for work with you already while you're still in prison. So there are many companies who give prisoners chances. He got out, got his job, stuff like that. And she was looking for a gardener or something of some sort, doing stuff around her house. And he applied for that job at her house, not knowing that this is the mom of his friend he killed. And he went to her house and she immediately knew it's him. And she took him in and she told him what to do. And they became really, really good friends. And she nurtured him, gave him food. He sometimes spent the night over there. They watched TV together, everything. And then at some stage, he found a photo of that boy he killed. And she was standing in the doorway. And he broke down crying. And he said, I did not remember that it was you, his mom. And she looked him in the eyes and she said, I told you 20 years ago, I kill the killer of my son. And he broke down in tears and she explained that she killed the killer of her son by being kind to him and letting out the person he really was, a good person. But the killer in his head, the killer he was, is killed. Do you understand? She killed the killer of her son by taking him in and showing him that kindness is more powerful than hate.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a story. You can Google that actually. I think it was in Denmark or in the Netherlands or something like that in the 60s or 70s. And I found that little story so powerful because she really, truly did kill the killer of her son. That side of that person, she killed him, right? So what was left was a normal person with feelings and, yes, very strong lady. Love wins, exactly. And to be that strong, you have to forgive. You have to forgive with your heart. And she won, exactly. She won. If she would have killed him, she would have never got out of grieving, never. I mean, for us, And also for me, I admit it would be very hard to not do something to that person. It truly, honestly, would not be easy. But for her to pull through with this, it shows that, sometimes love runs mysterious ways, and it truly, really works. So yeah, that was my little story and my little live stream on Weak or Evil, Why Killers Kill. And while I was thinking and actually made some notes because I did not make a presentation, what I was thinking is we could examine some other people too. I mean, some killers you're interested in, we could just pick them apart. It's not like we justify what they did, but just to give you a different perspective or a different view on things, right? I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm not saying he's guilty. All I want to know is the truth. What happened? What doesn't he remember? And like I said, I really thought in the start that he was lying. I just thought, he's protecting somebody. He's lying because, he all of a sudden remembers that there was no other cars. Oh, there was no, stuff like that, But now I know it could be trigger words that pulls back or brings back his memory, right? So we cannot judge or we cannot say for sure that he's lying. We can't because we don't know. So, yeah. Dave, if you want to say a few sentences, I'll be right back in a second.
No worries at all. Well, firstly, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here and listening to this. And I'd like to, without addressing any one person in particular, I'd just like to say we're hypothesizing here. We are not going through thinking that, if this ever got to trial, Chris is going to plead insane. No. We are talking about potential untreated medical conditions. What actually happens to people over time and what causes people to kill. That's what we're talking about. We're actually not even talking about Chris Watts in many instances during this live stream. We're actually just talking about what triggers somebody to actually kill is what we're mainly talking about. Okay, so untreated depression, especially if trauma's involved, from when they were a child, it can lead to a psychosis, as explained. Okay, and you can end up snapping. So this has not ever tonight really been about Chris Watts himself. It's about what can lead somebody to kill who seems and appears to be perfectly normal. So there is absolutely no one here is ever thinking Chris is insane. That I can assure each and every one of you. And it was not even anything that's ever come into our minds or thought about or anything. Everyone needs to realize we are not friends and we're not here to protect Chris Watts. We're here to find the truth. We want to know as much as you what actually went on the 13th of August 2018. That is what we want.
I'm sorry, I'm back. My
Because-
son just woke up. Sorry.
No worries. So all we're trying to do is try and learn as we go along ourselves
Mhm.
what makes someone kill. And it's not about, like I just said while you were away, TJ, this live stream wasn't necessarily about Chris. It was actually about what can lead somebody to actually live a perfectly normal life and all of a sudden wipe out his entire family.
Right. And what I also wanted to add, people in a stage of mental illness, no matter, I mean, depression is some sort of mental illness as well, right? Because it can develop to a psychosis or even worse, to being schizophrenic. However, a person in that stages of depression, what also the psychiatrist told me, are most likely, the chances are higher that they follow along with a plan. Yeah, just to throw that in there. They are they are likely higher to listen to other people and thinking, you're gonna solve my problems. So what can I do to solve a problem, right? So if a plan was in place to kill his family, whether or not he had help, right? He is more likely in that stage of his mind to pull through with something he has help with. Like if he feels in an environment, those people like me, they help me. I'm not being alone in this. So they're most likely pull through with it because it gives them, I mean, hope is the wrong word, but it gives them hope for their problems to be solved once and for all. So yeah, this is what she said to me. The James Bulger case, a really horrific case. The two 10-year-old or 11-year-old children
10-year-olds they were.
who killed. I was actually in contact with James Bulger's mom years ago, and I set up some GoFundMe's and stuff for her. The
I
other,
thought it was a good idea. They'll send them into witness protection after they got out of jail, and they'll send them to Australia. They came here. This is where they are.
okay. Well, I know that it is absolutely by court order forbidden to show pictures of them. Absolutely. And they are going to prosecute you no matter where you are in the world. So they will come after you. So one of this kid is a child abuser. That's right. He got recently thrown hot water in his face, I heard.
Terrible news.
And the other one is leading, I wouldn't say a good person because we don't know where he is at, but I would say he's leading a life away from public, right? This is also an example for who are you involved with? And, these kids decided to kill a 2-year-old child, lead him away from his mom in a mall. And there's always one person who is the doer and the other one who is the follower. So the follower in this case is leading a normal life, I would say, away from public. The other one is the mentally ill one, child abuser now, got busted for having child porn on his computer and stuff like that. So it's also always, it matters who you are involved with or who you surround yourself with, right? If you're in a circle of criminals, you're more likely become a criminal yourself. If you are surround yourself with positive people, you're more likely to live a positive life. The mind, what you feed to your mind, affects you in a powerful way. In any case.
Correct. I would say in this case, being around you has improved me.
Oh, thank you.
I seriously mean it. In my investigative thinking and my way of thinking. At times, I'm still going to be me and have my little outbursts. I can assure each and every one of you. But I believe my critical thinking has improved substantially since I've actually been around you, and you've definitely helped me in that department.
Yeah, just help people, to become better persons. Life is too short as it is, and what's said is said, what's done is done, right? But also, if I just can give you a little tip, if a person is mean to you, it doesn't mean you have to be mean back, right? Or respond with hate. Just be a good person no matter what, because it will pay out in the end that you're a good person, even though you're surrounded by some assholes or whatever, or people who make your life hard, right?
Yeah. Sorry, Chris Moby in chat. I got your conversation wrong. I thought it was you were just saying something that TJ said. I didn't realize it was actually something to Micah. It's all good, TJ.
Yeah.
Nothing to worry about. All right. Sorry about that, Chris.
Yeah, the John Benet investigation will start next week, Sunday. After I uploaded that documentary and I thought I could trick YouTube, didn't happen. They cut off my live stream. They sent me a message saying, I just can go resume that live stream, and they just pause where copyrighted material is in. However, I thought, okay, I just upload it, and show it on my channel. But, and I just cut out everything they want me to cut out because it's prohibited in the US for some reason. Yeah. So of an almost 3-hour documentary, I was left with 6 minutes and 33 seconds after I cut everything out they wanted me to. So what I was thinking is I just make my own presentation based on that documentary because I want you guys to see this. I think, in my opinion, this is the best documentary ever on that case.
With people in the US want to watch it, get yourself a VPN and you can watch it.
Yeah, I tried.
That's the best thing to do, and pretend, and then just tell the VPN you're in Australia, or if you're in Britain or in Germany, for example. That way you'll be able to watch the actual documentary on the YouTube channels, YouTube channel that's actually on. And that's the best way, because people in America are not allowed to view this at all.
No. So I tried a VPN. I actually went live on a VPN, but it still didn't work. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you guys. But however, I'm going to do it anyway. It is on YouTube. Yeah. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to show you the documentary like I show stuff with a presentation. Dave, you're echoing. You're still echoing.
How can I be echoing? I'm not even talking.
I don't know. I hear myself talking.
Not me.
It's not me. I have nothing open. Oh, it's gone. Gone. Okay. Technical difficulties. That's life.
Say sorry, Dave.
Sorry, Dave. Sorry, Dave. I was mistaken. However, I'm going to show you a presentation based on that documentary, so nobody can claim any copyright because it's mine. Okay? So fingers crossed that I will make it until next Sunday, because, it's a 3-hour documentary and I don't want to miss a thing to show you guys, so you get all the information you want. Yeah, and then at some stage, I'm going to go into the Casey Anthony trials with you. But not before I showed my second part of the documentary on Chris Watts. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you. Everybody, it's going to be something to behold. The work TJ puts into her documentary, it's something very unique and very open and very transparent, and it's not one-sided. And that's how all documentaries should be made, not one-sided.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was important to me, that I don't show only one side. And now in part 3 or 4, I think it's going to be 4 parts, I can put the expertise of my psychiatrist into this as well. So I'm very thankful and grateful that she shared her point of view with me. So yeah. All right. I did not plan this live stream going for over 2 minutes now. 2 minutes and 2 hours and 2 minutes.
Neither did I. You said it was going to be very short.
Yes,
You had a massive
I was
headache and you weren't
thinking,
well.
yeah, I think I'm getting the flu or something, because my eye hurts like crazy and just a massive headache and nothing helps. But yeah, it was nice to talk to you guys. I hope you enjoyed that live stream and I did not bore you to death. Yeah, I had them 2 minutes. I truly, really appreciate every one of you for being here. Super happy. And I hope I could help you a little bit, and always always keep in mind that you guys are not alone. There are millions of people out there who are going through bad times. Just try to, look behind the curtain a little bit, be kind. And sometimes, a smile to an angry person helps. You never know. You could be that person who is changing another person's mind just by smiling or be kind.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, Monica, are you ill too? Oh my God. This is the time of the year. I always get ill in March and I always get ill in October. I don't know why. It just is like that. My whole life.
Season change. It's
Yeah.
1 month into the season
Crazy.
change.
It's really crazy.
Yep.
Well, I'm allergic, so I have a whole all year round cough anyway. But I really get ill with the flu, like always in March and in October. Oh, there is no flu anymore since we have COVID, right?
Apparently.
COVID.
Apparently there's no flu anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody who gets a cold has got COVID. Yep.
All right, you guys, have a great rest of your Sunday. Like I said, very, very happy that you guys joined, listened to me. I might have bored some people. For some people, it might be interesting. And before comments coming like, oh, he's not mentally ill and you just want to protect him or whatever. No, it's not at all that case. All I've tried to do is look at a different perspective with different eyes and a different view on this case. Like on any other case, we could do this with any killer or serial killer or mentally ill person. And somebody just mentioned in chat to do the Eileen Wuornos case. I'm personally loving everything related or what has to do with her. I watched like every documentary, even in Italian language, a documentary I've never seen on German TV or on YouTube, and it was in Italian. And I even watched that because I was so interested in stuff like that. So yeah, the Eileen Wuornos case, typical case of post-traumatic stress disorder, a little bit of feeling alone, wanting to be part of something she never had in her life. I personally believe they should not have executed her. But yeah, we can also talk about Eileen Wuornos. I'm truly really open to anything, right? So this would be very interesting. Okay, you guys, I don't want to steal any more of your time. Thank you all for being here. Have a great rest of your weekend. And next week, if nothing comes in between, any more new info on the Watts case or developments or whatever, we'll be doing the John Benet case on Sunday. And I'm sure
One of us will definitely provide you with information if we receive it.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're allowed to release it. That's what we're going to be doing.
Joining membership. All right, then. Have a good day. Good night. good morning, good evening. Be kind to each other. Stay true to yourself. Never question yourself. And don't be shy to seek help if you feel like something's not right. Okay? All right, you guys. Have a good night. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.